So a few weeks back, I had my first collaboration video or open-ended video with another content creator. Everything went super well, but I do have one comment or one, I guess, full discussion that kind of caught my attention and really is the baseline of this entire video. So let me give you some context, kind of draw out the experience I had with the collaboration video. We'll dive deeper into, what exactly happened, why I'm talking about gatekeeping being an issue with, various levels of superiority complex or just power trips that people have in this hobby, but of course other hobbies as well. But really, Raffi and I, I reached out and our intent was kind of to make this collaboration video talking about the kind of cross-generational differences in fragrance. He's older than I am. I'm kind of in that millennial Gen Z era. And we just wanted to put the pieces together, discuss, how fragrance is even consumed, how he and I have differences and how we kind of learned about fragrance. And there's so many differences within that video. I'll link it down below if you're kind of intrigued in that concept of, just comparing experiences and kind of how we even ended up where we are when it comes to fragrance. So I think it is a fun watch. It is pretty long. we drug it out quite a bit, but if you want something to play in the background when you're doing some chores or something, that would be a good video for that. Really, this brings me to the discussion that I had with a particular individual. And the reason I'm bringing it up in a video is because I think this kind of negativity, this kind of demeanor coming from certain people within the hobby really are going to deject or discourage people from, engaging in the community or even going out and making their own content. And this is not what I want to see within the fragrance community or any community. I thought now would be the perfect time because I'm not just saying it out loud. I have an actual experience and representation of it that I'm kind of dealing with and reflecting on, but also, inspired by in a way and in making this video. And I get it, like a lot of friends and family would likely tell me this is very regular for the internet to, have these occurrences, to have, keyboard warriors, bullies, whatever you may have it, things on social media are blown out of proportion even more. While I could just be like, this happens to people. I think the opportunity is there for me to really shed some light on it. And just, it's food for thought. We're all here to, be in this community together and kind of call it out if we see it, right? I think that's an important thing. I dropped the comment on screen, but I'm gonna go ahead and read out the whole thing too. I get and laud the idea behind a cross-generational interview series, but you found an iPad brain, dead-eyed, inarticulate wannabe influencer for it. How about finding a real articulate fragrance enthusiast to talk fragrances with? This felt like an awkward job interview where the candidate took himself out of contention in minute one. And initially seeing this, kind of confusing, kind of threw me off because that's one of the very first extreme negative feedbacks or replies I've had. And I really didn't even mean to look at it. I was just checking the comments in general one day, and that just happened to be the most recent. So unfortunately, I did see it. And initially, I could have replied with something super petty or just been like, you're trying really hard to sound relevant in the vernacular of like younger people right now or something like that. But I really just took my time and I actually decided, okay, I'm gonna reach out, I'm gonna reply and see how they got to that conclusion. So for example, I just say, I wonder how much of the episode you watched. They claim they watched the entire thing. And really, he says that he watches the whole thing just to make sure there's something interesting in there. He trusts Raffi as a content creator. And I guess he says that Raffi himself didn't know what he was getting himself into, apparently, having agreed to do the video with me. Perhaps if it was awkward or either of us just weren't feeling it, we would cut the conversation short most likely. I think we only had like 4 or 5 initial points we wanted to cover, and that turned into an almost hour and 20-minute episode. So I don't know. I think we both had a lot to say and a lot to articulate. And it was just interesting to see because a lot of the things that the person was saying almost didn't really feel relevant to the video. It's kind of like they're reaching for results or emotions that weren't really present in the video. Little confusing. Obviously, yes, this is not about the person themselves. I don't want to take this too literal because it's definitely not literal at all. Just somebody who's, I guess, sad about their life and their life experiences. But it is interesting too. The one thing I wanted to dissect a little more is how they talk about how Raffi should have gotten a real fragrance enthusiast to do the discussion with him. What does that even mean? I think that's another piece that's really important. Fragrance enthusiast can mean a number of things and everyone's definition is going to be different. So obviously their view on an enthusiast is different, but I really think that is unfair to bring that up in a conversation because I would say for somebody who's only been in fragrance for less than 2 years, I've really caught up on the knowledge and the insight, and I obviously have the passion and excitement. Why would I start a YouTube channel to begin with within the first 2 years of liking fragrance? Or, I've done this for like a few months at this point, right? So obviously there's people who have been in this way longer than I am, but that's the whole point of why I want to have conversations. There's a lot I can learn from these people, but I think for example, in this video, Raffi learned a lot from myself as well. And not saying I was trying to school him on something, or it was just, how it is, a natural conversation, a natural collaboration, and we bounced ideas off of each other within the video. That's what's beautiful about these style of videos. Yeah, you have your points down, but then you go ahead and let the dynamic energy kind of create these new ideas on the spot. And I think we did a good job, considering that was my first video ever doing a collaboration, and that was his second within this series. But yeah, we did a bang up job, honestly. And the whole point is just bringing attention to this. I want you all out there who are content creators or people in the community who just love, expressing yourself, sharing your thoughts. Even just giving feedback on videos. I just want you to all set a good example out there, because the fragrance community just seems to be growing more and more. We have people of so many different demographics, different age ranges. It's just good courtesy to realize, the internet is infinite, basically. We often take technology for granted in that perspective, I suppose. So whatever you put out there, people are going to see. If you can do your best, please just, be courteous and think about what you express before you express it. Obviously, I really touched on the fragrance community is a lot better than most communities. But again, there are just those people out there who really think that being an enthusiast is being being kind of a dictator on this hobby, saying what is and isn't. And I don't see that happen often, but it definitely exists. So I just want us to, realize that it exists. We have to deal with it. But if you do see it and you feel, confident that you want to challenge those opinions, go ahead and do so. And it even makes for an interesting conversation in some regard if you're open to that. You know what I mean? Like, I tried my best in that conversation to kind of open it up more, see the perspective of the individual, and really I got nowhere. So I think that is telling in itself, but at least I gave it a shot, right? I could have not replied at all. I could have said really mean things back, that were racking through my head, obviously, but I think that's an important thing, just giving it some time. Obviously that person could have done the same thing, but they didn't. And we'll just leave it at that. Don't let people discourage you out there, whether you're going to be a creator or you just want to enjoy and engage with the community. That's definitely what I'm here for. I am not a influencer wannabe. I'm here because it is important for me to see what people like out there when it comes to content creation in the fragrance market. And honestly, it's probably what keeps me intrigued in making content. If I was just doing lists, even if the fragrances were new, the greatest hit, the greatest new beast mode, I would just get so burnt out of doing the same thing. And I do love lists. I do love curation, because it is kind of like an artificial concept we've made in this community in a lot of, hobbies. But while that is super fun, why not go ahead and try and push the envelope? Even if it doesn't get viewed as much, it's all good. We're just trying to have fun. And I would rather make more less watched videos than just, doing the same old, again, from the perspective of just being burnt out. But really, that's my thoughts on everything. Obviously, I want to hear back from all of you. This is an interesting topic that will only get more interesting with the more people that engage in it. So if you want to see more videos like this as well, let me know as well. I love these introspective videos that actually had a real world example this time around. But we don't have to always have that. We can talk about anything. As I always say in a lot of videos, just let me know what kind of content you want to see. And like, subscribe, just be here if you want to, and no sweat if not. I'm just glad I made this video, brought it to attention, and I'll see you in another. This is Patrick. Take care.